I'm here with my buddy Samad. Oh, we're going this way.
سلام علیکم. خدا کنه که جور و صحتمند بخیر باشین.
Samad and I are driving around. We are here in Washington, D.C. We were having a conversation in the car about how important it is to make sure that Afghans have access to all the information that you need when you need it. And so, look, one, please let us know in the comments. I can read the comments. I need to know, is the audio bad? We're driving here with the top down on a cloudy day in D.C. I want to make sure the audio is good. But we also want to know what your questions are, right? So you can see some of the links that we've shared here. The links will help you. The links will help you navigate resources that help you navigate the executive order crisis that we're currently in. You can see what's going on there. Are you watching?
I am just because of the comments.
Just the audio? Yeah.
For the comments.
I got it. This is Samad. Samad handles a lot of the passport stuff for us, and has been one of our most intrepid volunteers. He's been wonderful. All right, somebody just asked about what about P2? All right, so while we let the audience build a little bit, I'll talk a little bit about P2 and I'll talk about SIV. In the comments I see, oh, you don't talk about SIV enough, or oh, you don't talk about P1, P2 enough. We talk about both. Both are equally important. What is so important to you all, what is so important, I think, for Afghans to know is that as far as your cases go, most people don't know the difference between your cases, but you need to know the difference between your cases, right? SIV and US RAP, anytime somebody says refugee, they say that what they mean is P1 or P2. P1 and P2 are refugees, right? So anytime we're talking about refugees, we're talking about P1, P2, we're talking about P3, so family reunification for SIVs after you've arrived here, you go to the resettlement agency, say, hey, can you please help? They fill out some paperwork, that's P3. P4 is Welcome Corps. Now there are a lot, I'm wearing my Welcome Corps t-shirt. There are a lot of folks who are in the Welcome Corps program who are also SIV or P1, P2. It's just a way to pull, or it was before the administration killed it, it was a way to spread the load around of the resettlement work. Your case is IV. Somebody said, my case is IV. Should I transfer it to Pakistan or must I wait now? For now, it's in Doha. You don't have to wait, but every case is different. So you may notice that we try to avoid giving specific case information. The reason for that is that every case is different. You can go to afghanevac.org/resources and look through some of that. And there's a casework guide. There's all of that, right? One other thing I will tell you. All right, so we're going to get back on refugees first. Then we're going to talk about SIVs. One thing I'll tell you is that there's no pathway for refugees right now. Right now, the United States Refugee Admissions Program is paused due to Executive Order 14163. And that's all refugee cases. P1, P2, P3, P4, all refugee cases cannot come here for right now. The United States Refugee Admissions Program is US RAP. P1, P2 all fall under that. And look, the thing that you need to know is the report has gone from the Department of Homeland Security and the State Department to the White House to talk about what to do about the United States Refugee Admissions Program. They haven't made any decisions yet. We know there are meetings this week talking about Afghanistan. We don't know the content of the meetings. I hope that we'll hear about them. But, at some point soon, we expect the administration to make some decisions. Now, President Trump campaigned on Afghanistan, so we hope that they're going to make the right decision and continue enduring welcome. And we're going to keep fighting for that. We're going to keep making sure that Afghans know. For SIVs can still process. The cases are still moving. We're going to put Samad in here. Samad was an SIV.
I was an SIV.
Yeah, that's right.
And but I'm one of the gratefuls that I was able to come and made it here, like so many thousands of other people. But we still have lots of thousands of them left in Afghanistan, and we are so grateful to have friends like Sean and so many others specifically Sean and so many others, that they're doing a phenomenal job of pushing this as far as they can.
That's right. Listen, folks, so let's talk about the SIV program. If you go to the afghanevac.org/EO crisis, you can see some graphics that sort of talk about where we're at right now. As far as SIV goes, SIV cases can still come in. The chief of mission is still approving or adjudicating cases. They're adjudicating 1,000 cases a week, but only 30% are getting through. If you have fake, don't submit fake paperwork. It's really important you know that if you can't get paperwork, don't try to make it on your own. That will not work. Even if it worked initially, it's coming back around now. The thing that you need to know is that fake paperwork will ruin your entire immigration pathway.
And not only that, sorry to interrupt, Sean, not only that, it will also actually make it difficult for the rest of the people who has correct documents, because it's like one bad apple, remember, in a box, and it ruins everything else. So من حیث یک مسلمان همی برش لازم نیست که اوراق تقلبی داشته باشه و او اوراق تقلبی با وجودی که برای خود از اون نفر مشکل جور میکنه و امکان نداره کارش پیش بره، برای سایر دیگه هموطناش دیگه مسلمانان عین مشکل جور میکنه. به اون خاطر مهم است که اوراقتان باید درست باشه، راست باشه، دروغ نباشه.
So SIV cases are still being processed. The thing that's not happening right now is there's no help for Afghans to leave Afghanistan and go to a third country for processing. So if you can get yourself to a third country for processing and you can sustain yourself and your family there, by all means, you can get your case processed. And you can get to any embassy that is doing these cases, right? But you should also note that once you get here, oops, hold on, my thing's messing up. That once you get here, there's no resettlement benefits waiting for you. Now you can get sponsorship circles to help you. Like regular Americans without government funding will help you find a job, get housing, all of that. But there's no more government help for that from the United States government. The Trump administration shut that down. The other thing that's been going on is you may have heard that temporary protected status has been is being allowed to expire, which seems crazy, right? It doesn't seem like conditions are a lot better in Afghanistan, especially if you happen to be a woman or a girl. A lot of questions about care. A lot of questions about care. CARE is still operating except for flights. CARE is still doing medicals. They're still helping you get the cases ready. And they're doing that because if this stuff gets turned back on, they want to be ready to go. CARE is filled with extraordinary people, but a lot of people at CARE have lost their jobs. It's really unfortunate. A lot of people at CARE who've been working so hard, to put cases together, to get people ready to travel, to help them when they get here, have lost their jobs. Now they're going around and still in the work in many cases, but it's really an unfortunate situation right now. We don't know if CARE flights are going to restart. We hope that they will, and there's a lot of advocacy going on there. A lot of questions about green card holders and all of that. If you are a green card holder and you're not in the United States, I would get back to the United States as fast as possible. If you are thinking about leaving as a green card holder, I would give it a few months. There's a lot of chaos and a lot of uncertainty right now. Let some things settle. You asked about alien registration. We're going to be putting out some information about that soon. The short version is that in most cases, you probably don't have to register, is what we've been told. But I want everybody on this call to hear, everybody on this live to hear, it's so important that you get legal, qualified immigration lawyer representation. It is so important. Lawyers are the only ones that can tell you what the law says. We're not going to give you legal advice. You'll notice that we don't ever tell you where to go or what to do because we don't know your cases that well, right? Unless you're having a one-on-one conversation, people don't know your cases. We also, like Mansoor asked, how much time does it take for SIV interview in Pakistan? We don't know. AJ Siddiqui, can we pay for the flights on our own? You can. If you can get yourself a visa, if you can get yourself legally to a third country that has a U.S. embassy, you can go and get an interview there and go through the process there. Now, you want to make sure you have all of the things that you need to exist there legally, and then you want to make sure that you have the funding to get to the United States. Now, you can go to afghanevac.org/self-depart to sign up once you have a valid U.S. visa in your passport. But we can't help you get from Afghanistan to the third country. We can only help you once you have a visa in your passport.
No one left behind can also help them with tickets.
No one left behind can as well. Yep. No one left behind can help with tickets. And you know, there's a lot of really good groups that are out there. You know, Afghan Evac has 250 organizations that are peaked. It's, you know, some are active, some are not. I do want to take a moment to thank all of those people that have been dedicating their lives to this. There's been a lot of impacts on our Afghan friends and a lot of impacts on our advocate friends. And, you know, it's just been such an extraordinary thing to see people come together to help our wartime allies. I don't know if you can extend your passport, Samad? Are passport extensions still happening?
No, yeah, it does. Even if you're not in Afghanistan, you can actually do it overseas in Dubai. But if you're in Afghanistan, you can extend your passport, or you can get a new passport. It's the passport process in Afghanistan is very smooth and easy. They have 4 different locations in Kabul city, including the original one, but they have 4 different locations in PD16, PD9, PD6, and the old passport office. And you can do it online. It's so fast. Actually, you can do it faster than here.
Great. Shocker. All right. So, yes, you can get your passport extended. The sponsorship case. So, sponsorship cases, I don't really know what you mean. I think you may mean Welcome Corps. The Welcome Corps is dead. It's only, they're just not doing that anymore. The administration has shut down all refugee processing. Sponsorship cases are refugees. As of right now, and until they issue a final decision, all refugee cases are paused. So P1, refugee. P2, refugee. P3, refugee. P4, or sponsorship, refugees. No matter where you're at in the world, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Germany, you could be in the Netherlands, you could be in Antarctica with the penguins. No matter where you're at, if you're a refugee, you're not allowed to come to the United States right now. Except if you're in South Africa and you're a white South African farmer, an Afrikaner. So I don't think there's a lot of Afghans who are Afrikaners. SIV, we updated it a little bit earlier, but we'll share it again. The truth is that you can still apply for SIV. You can still get COM approval. You can still apply for a visa after you get COM approval, and you can still come here, but you're not going to get an IOM loan. You're not going to get relocated out of Kabul, and you're not going to get resettlement assistance when you get here from the government. Let's see. Yeah, so I want to talk about Pakistan. The refugee pause has also impacted Pakistan. There's thousands of Afghans who are waiting there, both in the refugee and SIV pathway. We know that it's scary. We've asked Pakistan to stop taking action against Afghans in the Enduring Welcome Pipeline. They said they would look at it. But one way to make sure that they stop treating Afghans poorly in the Enduring Welcome Pipeline is to make sure that refugees can process there. We made a promise to Pakistan. The government of the United States made a promise to the government of Pakistan that we would process all of those folks that were waiting for their refugee processing in Pakistan within 2 years. When President Trump just stopped it from happening, Pakistan got really upset. And our friends, our Afghan friends in Pakistan are facing the consequences of that, and it's really unfair. I've seen a lot more questions about refugees. If you ask me what about refugees, or what about US Rep, or what about P1, P2, the answer is not going to change until the president changes, right? Until the president changes his mind and unpauses Pakistan. It's just not a thing. I-730, family reunification. So they were moving, follow to join refugees and follow to join asylees. And then the department decided they didn't want to keep doing that. So they said, oh, we're looking at the policy, even though the courts have told them to do it. That's the other really important thing, is the courts have told the president that they have to restart refugee processing. They have to process cases that were conditionally approved.
Sorry, Sean.
Ahmad's got something.
Yeah, you usually explain the court system, to Afghans. In Afghanistan, that's not how it is. When the president make a decision, or when a minister make a decision,
that's the decision.
That's the decision. The court means nothing over there.
Well, that's how it is here now.
No. So if you want to explain the court system
Sure.
to Afghans, the U.S. Law system a little bit, that way people understand what court is and how that works.
Sure. So in the United States government, we have 3 co-equal branches of government. You hear about our Constitution. The Constitution says that the executive branch, the judiciary branch, judicial branch, which is the courts and laws, and the legislative branch, which is Congress, are all equal. They have what's called checks and balances. So the executive branch can make a decision, but the judicial branch will decide whether or not it's constitutional or legal, and the legislative branch makes the laws. They decide, if like something is going on and we need a law to address it, the legislative branch should make a law. Now, our government is not that functional right now. You may have noticed Congress can barely get anything done. Congress never passed the Afghan Adjustment Act. Anyway, here, when a judge says that the executive branch has to do something, normally they have to do it. This administration has been ignoring the courts, though. Very much like Afghanistan, it sounds like. All right. So I see a lot of questions about the fate. What is the fate of case holders? The truth is that we're in a state of chaos right now, right? We don't know what the long-term fate is going to be, but we will know soon. There will be final decisions. Even if the administration makes a big decision, if it gets challenged in the courts, if somebody sues or files a lawsuit, that can cause either an injunction to stop, to pause a shutdown, to make sure that something keeps going while it gets hammered out in the courts. And ultimately, the judges will decide what's lawful, what's not. Or Congress could pass a law that says this has to keep going, and then we would have that, right? So far, Congress hasn't really seen fit to do much, but we do know that there's broad bipartisan support. So both Republicans and Democrats are very supportive of Afghans and Afghan relocation. All right, folks, we're going to have to jump off of here very soon. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to turn it over to Samad real quick.
So, Sean, I read some more questions about the SIV relocation, and you talked about it on your TikTok video earlier as well. If you want to talk a little bit about people who has approved cases and they're ready to go to Doha, cases transferred to Pakistan. I think you touched on it, but if you could refresh everyone's memory again, that would be really great.
And you're talking about SIV cases?
Yes.
Yeah. So just remember, if CARE got you a visa for Doha, it's not the same as you getting one for yourself. You can't use that on your own. There's no relocation flights right now. CARE is not flying anybody anywhere. If you see anybody like Beautiful Afghanistan or anybody else saying that, they're full of shit. It's not true. It's a lie. We will let you know as soon as it starts. I just got together with some folks from CARE this morning, and there's no indicators that anything's restarting soon. There's no flights. I got into an argument with Beautiful Afghanistan on Twitter or on X recently, and they were like, "Oh, there's a flight coming to Albania next week." I'm like, "No, there's not." And it's so important that you get your information from reliable sources. But look, what you can do if you have gotten Chief of Mission approval and you're in Afghanistan, if you can get to another country on your own, you can interview to get a visa. You can go to Pakistan, you can go to Oman, you can go to wherever. We don't want to make recommendations on where you should go because we don't know what the conditions are on the ground day to day, right? Somebody asked, what about Iraqi allies? I mean, same thing. You can still get, if you get chief of mission approval, you can still go. But we haven't really seen a lot of, Iraqi SIV stuff moving lately. Let's see. What if people got travel arrangements that are in conditional approval? If you had a flight booked, a judge in the Pasito versus Trump case told the government that those people still need to come here. If you had a flight booked before January 20th, before the executive orders came out. The other thing that you need to know is that visa ban that we were talking about, where we had the March 12th deadline, that is still looming out there. That's not gone. We don't know when it's going to happen, but we do know that it's going to happen. We know that there are meetings ongoing right now. The report for that one never went over to from state to the White House because of the advocacy that we all did together. But that's still in danger. That's why we think that green card holders should not be leaving. That's why we think that if you have a U.S. visa in your passport, we want you to get here. But look, friends, we know P1 and P2 cases. We know that you've done so much work. You were waiting. We agree with you. You should be brought here. President Trump disagrees as of right now. And we don't think it's really President Trump. We think it's Stephen Miller because we know there's a lot of people around them. I would love to come to Nashville. If you are in the Afghan community in the United States and you want us to come out and talk to a big community group, let us know. I like to travel. I like to go out and talk to Afghans.
And you like Afghan man too, and today you have China key.
I do love Afghan food. It's true, my daughter loves Afghan food also, so does my son. Listen, folks, I know that it's a really scary time. It's really uncertain. And I wish that we had better answers for you right now. My commitment to you is that we're not going to quit fighting. We're not going to stop pushing. And we're never going to stop telling you the truth about what's happening. Some people have told me that we should stop doing these videos and stop sharing information. But it's our hypothesis, I think, that people can handle bad news and people just need to know what's happening in order to make decisions. You all are grown adults and you can make decisions on your cases on your own. And you served alongside us. And look, we're so grateful for your service to our country. The least that we can do is do our best to make sure you know what's going on. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for everything you've done for our country. Thank you, Samad, for being so great.
Thank you everyone. ډیره زیاته مننه تاسو ټول نه. شانس موږ او تاسو ملګری ده او افغانانو سره ډیره زیاته مینه لري. افغانانو ډیر زیات ګران ده زما ملګری ده او خدای دې وکړي چې تاسو ټول کارونه منظم مخکې لاړ شي. ټول نه ډیره زیاته مننه. تشکر. یا شسن افغانستان.
Bye, folks. Have a great day.